And then part of it is the show, you see, the convincer. I can just do it, and you go, well, if she just did it that easily, what's that, you know, okay. Or did it really happen? You know, you'd start going, well, maybe it wasn't such a big thing, or maybe it didn't really happen, or maybe I just imagined it. But the more amazing, the better the show. You know, Paul McKenna is the top hypnotist because he's doing it on television and with lights, and you go to this, you know, there are other good hypnotists, but he's the one that shows it the right way, that makes it dramatic, that makes it powerful. It's in the presentation. He's very good at picking the right people out of the audience to be able to, you know, the best people for the best trance subjects for the most entertaining performance. So if I'm a shaman and I'm out there in the jungle, I'm going to give you a good show. They didn't have television either. That's probably another good reason for it. It's like, what's going to make you a good group show and bond the community and get you all there together? We're going to have some, you know, some drugs or some music or some alcohol or some dancing or some really good time. I'm going to make a great big thing out of this, a big powerful thing out of this, that's going to convince everybody, that's going to really move everything forward in whatever direction. That's going to sometimes fire people up. What do you want to do it for? If you want to go off out hunting, we want to get you all whipped up into a powerful state where you tune into the spirit of the animal, where you're going to go off out there in that state feeling hyped up and powerful and ready for victory, ready to go off out there. You know, there's a number of different things. I want a whole set of different layers of things, that all your skills are there, your abilities are there, your focus is there, your motivation is there, your positive will and belief in yourself is there, and the intuition is there where you're going to know where the herd is. That's the cool bit, where you're going to know where to go and hunt over a vast area, because how else will you know where maybe the animals are at the moment? There's something else, and there's a communication then that goes between the two. So, but what I'm suggesting is we don't even need that. So in another way, you're quite right. Another way is they maybe didn't know better. Another answer to that is people didn't know better. So if you get something that works, you maybe think you really need all that ritual. And you come to that belief that you really need all that ritual before you get there. So I'm just cutting to the chase and saying, no, you don't. Just get the results straight off. And if you want it more dramatic, we could do it more dramatic, or you can make it more dramatic for yourself or whatever, but get over that, you know, just, it's that easy. We've just lost touch with the natural world. We've lost touch with our own senses. You don't have to think about your survival anymore. You know, you wander through lives totally busy, listening to mobile phones and listening to Walkman and, you know, watching the television and living things that are removed from it all, and having a fast-paced, totally busy life, which is all wrapped up in the technology. But are you in any way in tune and in touch with your senses and with what's going on in the world around you? Largely we aren't. And so I'm introducing you to something that ought to be natural, that ought to be there, that would have been there in the past, would still be there today if you were living in some natural community much more out in nature. And you're going, oh wow, that's strange, that's spooky, what is that? Can I do it? And it's there. What else are the things that we can do or shaman can do?
They heal, obviously.
Heal. Yeah. And again, there's all kinds of ways where they might do that. You can do that directly through energy. You can do that through plants. You can do it with or without ritual and drama, because you can build in the fact of people's, the placebo effect, people's belief in things. But when you just directly heal somebody and you put your hand inside and you pull out innards and guts and things like that, what's that called?
Psychic surgery.
Psychic surgery. Now again, I'm deeply dubious about that. I'm not really sure that anybody is really actually doing that, or what would be the value of doing that, or how that would... I think they're putting their hands in there and pressing down and going around and then producing chicken guts or something that they had concealed up their sleeve earlier. But does it really matter if that convinces the person so much and the drama is good and everything's excited, that that kicks in that person's self-healing and they just cure themselves? You get the result.
Is conviction a vital part of it?
Yeah, you're the key thing, power of your own mind.
So it's not like the light switch, I don't have to believe it. The light turns on if I...
Yeah, and you don't, there are certain things that you don't have to believe it, they'll happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The auras are there anyway, whether you believe you can see them or not, they're there. We are energy, you can believe it or not, you know. So there are things that are there anyway, but you can disbelieve it and ignore it and discount it, so it could be there in front of you and you could say it's not there, so it'll have certain effects. and you could discount it and choose not to go with that and whatever, but it would still be there. So it's much better if your belief and everything is on side, if you're 100%. If you believe it, you want it, you know it. Now just think about this for a second. Things that you want or have wanted in the past, when you've wished for something, you've wanted something, you've desired something, think about something you'd really, really like, but it's unattainable, it's unreachable. You don't really think you're going to get it, you just would really like it. And notice what that looks like, what that feels like, where that is. And would you at this moment be likely to get that thing? No. It's an idea, it's a wish, it's a dream. Now something that you want, that you believe you can get, you believe that with some work, maybe you need to work a bit or learn something or do something, but you believe it's achievable. You want it and you believe it's achievable. You might need to put in some effort, you might need to change some things, but where's that? What does that look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Where is it located in relation to you? Notice that that's different. And how likely are you to get that thing? Yeah? More likely? Definite? Now think about something that you know you could get. You want it, you know you can get it, you're absolutely certain. Or even an example from the past. You just knew that was going to work. You knew that job was yours. You knew you could do that thing. And notice what's different about that. And now ask yourself, at times when you felt like that, if you just search through all the times when you've just known something's going to happen, you've just known you're going to get it, you are certain about it, it's just a fact, it's a done deal. Did you get all those things? Or if you think about something in the future, do you know you're going to get that thing? Because I'd suggest that there is a sequence of stuff, and that when you come to a point that you know that that's yours, you know that you're going to get it. You do. And what's different is that state of mind, and have you got there yet? When you get there, you get it. And that is the case even if it's this number is going to win. When you know it, you're right, and it does. When you'd like it to be so, you wish for it to be so, you believe that such a thing could be so, but you're not sure if you could do it. You know? Not necessarily so. That makes sense? But you get to the point when you know something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Now there's a number of things that make that up. You've got to decide it. You can get anything you want, but there are pros and cons. You could decide, any of us could decide at this moment, that's it, I'm going to move to a tropical island in the sun and I'm going to live there. I'd like it, I like the sun, I'd like to live, I've always fancied myself doing something like that. Now, as I say that, as I suggest us doing that, what thoughts come up in your mind? You might go, well, that's nice, but I've got a family here, I've got a job here, I've got this, I've got that. No, I mean, some of you might go, let's do it. But you all could do it. There's nothing stopping you doing it. And yet there is everything stopping you doing it. Because you have a family, because you have a job, because you have commitments, because you have reasons, because you have other things that are more important to you, because you don't really want to do that thing. If we're honest with ourselves, you could do anything, but maybe the things that you're giving up are you don't want to give up. Maybe you don't want that thing that much. But when you get to the point that you know it, you want it, you're lined up, and it's yours, then it's yours. Sometimes, you know, that'll always happen. You might be wrong. It may not be good for you after all. It might be a sidetrack. You know, I've wanted something and desired something and decided I was going to get that something and got that something and then thought maybe that wasn't the right thing after all, or okay, now I've got it, you know. Now I've got it and I know what it's really like, perhaps, you know, and I've learnt by that, it's time to move on to something else, or I didn't, you know, I learned things about that and decide, okay, that's not the thing, that's not everything, let's move somewhere else.